Right, so this is going to be a weird video. I've been up for about 32 hours, and about 12 hours ago, I've been working on my novel like a maniac. About 12 hours ago, I thought I'd tell you a little bit about working on my novel. God, I need to sleep. I'm hallucinating. Literally, really, really boring ones though, as well. Like, it's a bit flat. Oh, who wants? Oh yeah, thanks for the flatness. Thanks for the 2 dimensions. So about 10 hours ago, I tried to do an update on how the novel's going. People are giving me money towards that, and it seems only fair. Halfway through, I just scrapped it. I thought I'm not making videos. I'm trying to work on my novel. Stop trying to do everything. You know, stay focused, stay scheduled. I've got a schedule. It's working. Thanks, Jordan. And then I just quit it. But there's some good stuff in there. And then someone sent me a pop video of quite a nice song. I can't even remember what it was. The Felice Brothers. It is the Felice Brothers. Frankie's Gun. And on it, there's some. It's nice. It's nostalgic, and there's some people on motorbikes. And I remembered that my old man was a grass track racer, and so I was compelled again to make another video, and it was going to be about my dad's grass track racing, but it ended up being about my novel again. And yeah, so that didn't go anywhere. So what I've done, I've stuck these 2 videos together. Now there's some repetition in there because they're 2 videos where I attempted to tell you how my novel's going. So yeah, maybe you'll enjoy this. Maybe it won't be YouTube that steals my subscriptions, but my my lack of coherent content. I salute thee. Alright, there you albino Negroes who thought it said. Alright, there you albino Negro. There's nothing like a beat to calm me down. Alright, there you albino Negroes who thought it went without saying, but it spoke for itself. Language, eh? Oh, it's been a linguistic day for me. A lot of you have been asking how the novel's going, which is fair enough because the Patreon donations are contributing to the novel materialising in a published form. And so now I'm working with this editor, and see that snidey wipe achieved. And it's weird. I'll sit down. I mean, it's 110,000 words. It's a lot of words. And I want the actual novel to be more like around 80,000. The idea, of course, being every single one of those words and paragraphs and sentences and whatever. There's no chapters. It's just just very difficult to read. And was carefully crafted and constructed with a passion. I mean it. I love that process of writing. But the problem is, I'm meant to be. I take like a 10,000 word block and think, right, you know, get this down to 8,000. Start this sort of pre-edit, and after 4 or 5 hours work, I've added 4,000 words. But if you've ever written sort of creative prose, especially autobiographical, you know, because we are indulgent and we like ourselves when we like ourselves. Yeah, that would make sense. And this is it's a love story essentially. And it's kind of self-love as well. I think all writing's got an element of self-love in it. But there's what does Jacques Lacan, the French psychoanalyst, called it jouissance, which comes from the French to play, and this idea of this sort of pleasure of play that goes beyond pleasure, you know. And there's a nod in the direction of Freud's beyond the pleasure principle there with jouissance. It's so pleasurable that it actually goes beyond what we can experience as pleasure, and it becomes pain. But then, you know, pain and pleasure, are they necessarily opposed, or are they part of the same system? There's another French writer, Bataille, Georges Bataille, in his book, I think it's Images of Eros. I don't know, it doesn't matter, but there's this picture of this man and photographs of a man who had the Chinese torture called 1,000 pieces, or aka death by 1,000 cuts. where they fill him up with opium so that he doesn't pass out, and they start off by chopping off little bits of skin, and there's a photograph. Go online and look for it. Bataille. Type in Bataille, B-A-T-I, Bataille. But there's like a saw halfway through his leg, and what's amazing about this image is there's a crowd around it. They're all watching. This thing's got no arms. It's had the flesh removed from its breast. You can see its ribs. I think the person involved got caught stealing apples or something. You know, he's tied to this stick. But what Bataille said, and he says about this image, no image struck him so powerfully as this image. And once you see it, you'll see why. Let's see if I can get it up, actually. Let's see if I can get it up. Not when you see this. That's how you spell it. See, I knew. If I show you this. Now, this is not for the squeamish, I can assure you. Here's one. Oh my gosh. Yeah, not for the squeamish. Have a look at this. Yeah. There, look, the skin has been removed. They're being held on the stick. They're all old. Look at them all looking. This saw here in the leg. Another one here. Closer. I mean, that's fucking brutal. I mean, I think this was a turn of the previous century, about 1905. Look, I know you can't see that too well, but the legs have been completely hacked off there. What George Bataille... I mean, Jesus, what is left of that there? What struck Bataille was this face. If you can get, you know, that could be an orgasm. Is that pleasure or is that pain? I mean, it's fucking that. Look at that saw there. I mean, for fuck's sake. Yeah, I bet you're glad you watched this video. Can you work out how I got from the pleasure of writing my novel to a Chinese person having his legs chopped off? Anyway, I was going beyond the pleasure principle. I find it's just so engrossing. Nothing comes close. And it isn't just pleasure. It's not pain. It's certainly not being strung up and having your legs cut off. But I am lost when I am writing, and I am found. You know, it is contradictory. It's like, for me, it's like, it's... You know, look, do you ever see me struggle for words? And I'm trying to explain the feeling of writing, and I can't, because it's something, how incredible is that? The process of making words out of thoughts and memories written is beyond words for me. There you go. And that's why I'm so proud of this novel, because it's not something I can talk about. It's not something that can exist outside of the novel. It is, if it wasn't for the novel, it isn't there. It's been a fucking long day. Cut us some slack. I'm very proud of it. It's very special. Anyway, the point being, Jesus, how did we end up with China? I mean, it's gone midnight. I haven't eaten this year. And I've had my croissants. I've shown you a man getting cut to pieces with no tits left. And the point being, I thought I'd take a photograph of myself while I was writing outside this cafe with the old camera, well, the telephone there. So I got my head in and the pad, you know, a bit tongue-in-cheek, a bit sort of jokey. And the bloke next to me went, "Do you want me to take that?" And you know what people are like. You know what people are like with strangers. You know, I wanted to say I didn't want him to take the picture, so I said, "Yeah." Give him the camera, and then he was like, "Go on then, pretend you're writing." I was like, "Oh," and yeah, look, I'll show you. It's all right. I'm not having anything cut off. Wow, are we peaking? Are we peaking? I think we might be peaking. Let me turn it down a little bit. Sorry about that peaking business. Now it'd be too quiet. Do not adjust your set. Yeah, so what was meant to be like a jokey, sarky, look, I'm working, turned into this hideous. What a cunt. I mean, that's just... You know, I didn't send that to my editor. No way. Hi. Yeah. That's horrible. That's a sort of a Huff Post writer's bio picture, isn't it? Fucking idiot. So anyway, the point being, as a novel. I'm working on it. What can I say? I'm working on it, but it will finish me before I finish it, and you're gonna love it. If you like my channel, I think you're gonna love it. I mean, it's very different though. I don't want more the same though, do you? Anyway, look, I want to show you a couple of things. So everyday sexism, Jesus Christ, man, what a pathetic project it is. What it is everyday complaining. Go to the website, everydaysexism.com. I mean, I gave up making videos about it. I think I made one and it's like, this is a Poe. No one believes it's real. You know, I'm not saying that the things that happen in there provide a wipe area and move. I'm not suggesting the things aren't necessarily... I'm not saying they're all lovely and great and people should put up with them, but what they tend not to be is sexist. You know, the feminist narrative has told women that when anything they don't want to happen in the world happens, it's fucking sexism. Now, this isn't an in-depth analysis, but I've got something funny to show you. We're going to go back over there. Check this out, okay? Right, so look. So this is the first one. This goes up, right? Yeah, look. This goes up. This woman here, oh, Priya Shah says, at everyday sexism, but with the old full stop there. Yeah, you know what that means? The full stop before everyday sexism means that not only everyday sexism gets to see this, this means all her followers get to see it. Almost as if she's virtue signalling. You know, she's not wanting to tell them. Anyway, look. So this is sexism. Walking down the stairs of a double-decker bus and the guy in front stops at the bottom to look up my skirt. Where is your decency? Right, now we don't know for sure that that happened. We don't know for sure that it didn't happen. But let's assume it did happen. It's not sexist. That's not sexist. So I just say, why is that sexist? I just ask the question. Doesn't get answered. Doesn't get answered. And then other people join in. They hijack. This geezer's right. And then Tara Tide comes in. Sexual harassment and such treatment isn't a compliment. And stop trying to convince women when it is. I mean, look at this geezer. Seems more of a compliment. Albeit you should be a bit... Albeit you should be more stealthy like a pervy ninja. 100% a joke. Clearly what? Is it a stealthy ninja? And she's like, stop trying to convince women it is. Clearly a joke. Look, I'm not trying to convince anybody. It's clearly a joke. Anyway, there's a bit of back and forth with those two. She goes on and on and on and on. There's a time and a place for everything, and there's never a time for man to trying to sneak a peek up on a park, blah, 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 blah. Right? Now, let me see. Did I get this last one in here? Oh, yeah. So, again, I go in right after a load more. Why is that sexist? And then she's like, Tara Tide's like, why does semantics bother me? What, the meaning of words? Why do the meaning of words bother you? Why does semantics bother you more than a woman being treated this way? They don't. I'm interested to know why it's sexist. Look, Claire Lop says, he's a troll. Don't bother acknowledging. What? Why am I? Judge me on what? Judge me on my actions, you know, asking why it's sexist. Not just, he's a troll. How am I? I have no idea where she got that from. Now, this is the best bit. This one here, Tara Tide. I went and checked out her bio. For custom videos of fetishist, redhead, travelling model. I love baking and metal. I hate wearing clothes. My old man was a grass track racer. I've been up about 30 hours. This could be an interesting video. Someone just sent me a pop song, like I don't know what you call it, a rock song, pop music, like men in bands, and there was some motorbikes. That weren't it that I just showed you. That was grass track from the early 1970s, when my old man would have been riding. And I remember my mother tells me she took me and my brother a couple of times, stuck in the back of a van with a lot of oily old grass track bikes, and me and my brother aged like 3 and 5 at the noise, and they never took us back. But my old man was a grass track racer. There's no photos. It's kind of sweet sometimes that there's no photographs of these things, because you're forced to not even recollect. You're forced to collect some kind of, not images, it's almost like pure meaning. I'm kind of obsessed with pure meaning at the moment. The reason I've been up so long is I've been writing this novel. Let's see if I can find you this photo. I've been writing this. I've been trying to get my novel written. The editor wants to see stuff, and I was out at the I was out at a cafe yesterday, just writing notes and that, just trying. I've got 110,000 words. I'm trying to strip it down to about 80,000. So I take blocks of like 10,000 words. The idea being that if I can keep cutting bits out of it, it will just be the cream that's left, just the finest the finest aristocratic sperm of an otherwise peasant-led novel. But what happens is I'll take a chunk like 10,000 or 5,000 words to edit, and by the end of a 3-hour stint, I'll have an extra 4,000 words. And I was at this cafe in town, Bar Italia. I spend half my life there. It's all right. Familiarity is grand, and especially when you're lost in jouissance. Do you know about jouissance? French psychoanalyst Jacques Lacan talked about jouissance. Being beyond the pleasure principle. He's doffed his cap to Freud there, but where a pleasure almost becomes painful. And jouissance from the French, to play. And there's also a doff of the cap there, to play with yourself. You know, we live in that weird culture where you're called a wanker if you do something stupid, and yet we all love it. Oh, we all love wanking. And I am indulging in this novel. It means something. It means something very special to me. I don't know why. Maybe I'll find out when it gets read by others. But anyway, I'm at this. I'm at Bar Italia, and I'm thinking I'll take a photo of myself, sort of writing like a sarcastic, tongue-in-cheek picture of myself. Of myself writing to send to my editors. They say, look, yeah, I'm working. And as I was sort of setting it up and trying to get the book and the pen and me in it, this bloke next to me went, hey, you want me to take the picture for you? And, you know, I didn't want him to, so I went, yeah. And I give him a phone, and he went, yeah. He went, no, that's it. And look at me, you know, now suddenly it's like I'm like a tourist in my own life. Just looking at him with a pen here. I'll show you it. I'm showing you this because it's embarrassing. Oh, that's great. That's great. That's really made me look good. Oh, I showed the backstage affair going on there, didn't I? Let's try this one. Ta-da! Look at that. Not what I intended. And then I sent that to my editor and tried to explain the story that I've just explained to you. And he couldn't get it because I was absolutely rambling. But people have been asking me how the novel's coming on, and rightly so, because I've got a few hundred patrons and they're all putting their hands in their pockets, and it was kind of on the back of the novel. I mean, more than 50% of my patrons have written to me and said, look, I don't give a fuck about the novel. I'm giving you some money to show I appreciate your channel, and money helps people live, and they know more videos come out, the more I'm encouraged financially. I'm not going to lie about that. That would be ridiculous. oh no, 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 if I was getting £10,000 a week, I'd probably make just as many novels. No, I wouldn't. You'd be getting 10 a day. It'd probably be like the Truman Show. I mean, what I'm thinking, I've said it before, if my Patreon carries on going up and my subs keep on going up, and way, I got to 7,000 for the third time again today. And so if PooTube let me grow organically as I have been, I've only got to get to a few grand and I'll be quitting the day job. I'll be moving out to fucking Southeast Asia, and on that kind of money, out there it's worth more. Oh, I'll just be touring around Vietnam, Myanmar, China, Cambodia, Thailand, mainly Thailand, and making videos of my travels. And it's amazing that that could happen. My channel's 9 months old. I'm on a few $100s a month, and these things are exponential. So exciting times. How did I end up going down that route? I told you I'm fucked. But the work I've done on the novel over the last 30 intense awake hours. Oh, I've eaten. Oh, yeah. I had popcorn and sausages for lunch. I'm not even joking. On the same plate. On the same plate. It wasn't an accident. I didn't go, oh, fuck, I thought they were baked beans. No, I just thought, I'm done. What? Hang on. That, just eat. You're going to eat it. Just eat it. Don't advise it. Left a bad taste in my mouth after the first bit, and that continued throughout the meal. But my editor's having some problems. He turns out to be an interesting bloke, which is great. That's what I need. He's so encouraging as well, so sweet. Understands a writer's relationship to his manuscript. But it's heartbreaking stuff, man. I mean, I keep saying, I don't know what you expect of this novel. A lot of people, like, they'll watch the Crack Diaries and it'll be like, oh, I kind of get, I can't wait to read more of this stuff in your novel. And I'm thinking those people may be a little bit disappointed. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's sex and drugs in there without doubt. But, this is autobiographical literary fiction. It's a lot of pondering. It's a lot of wandering. It's the scrawl of a wanker in many senses, in many levels. It's the idle, indulgent scrawl of a successful wanker. There you go. There you go. I'm quite impressed with that. I think people keep asking me what it's about and I struggle. But under the pressure of knowing people are going to watch that, I've come out of it. It's the idle, indulgent scrawl of a successful wanker. I don't mean as a successful person who's a wanker. I mean as someone who's quite good at that. Well, at least I got the name of this short video. Strange talking about my father. That's what motivated this. I was 16 when he died. I was doing a lot of hallucinogenics and I was kind of lost in my sort of early psychedelic experimentation during the period of the major loss of my life. The two don't go together well, as you can imagine. And psychedelics, hallucinogenics have always brought with them for me a sense of distancing. Like on the Russell Brand video, talking about mental illness and creativity and flying too close to the truth. It's all bullshit. You need clarity. You need clarity to get to truth. Anyway, just a little video. I got to get some fucking sleep. You lot are great. Seriously mean that. Some of the mouth I get on some of the other fucking... Some of my... excuse me. Some of the guest videos. Jesus. Take care.